All right. Hey, it's Mike. Thanks for tuning back in, everybody. I am joined by the legendary Chris Sewall, baseball card collector, investor, dealer, in that order. Chris, thank you so much for joining me at 9 p.m. your time, which I'd be sound asleep by now. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me. Really cool to be here. And yeah, I'm used to the late night interview, these sort of late night talks, because that's how it has to be when you're in Europe.
Yeah. So like I was telling you initially, I haven't done any interviews on my channel. I just started doing Bench Clear Media. I've watched your channel for 18 months, and
Yeah.
there were questions I wanted to find out. I've watched some interviews, haven't found them out, and I was like, why don't I just reach out to him and see if I can get him to answer these? This is my first real interview, so thank you for joining me. I'm really interested in how your channel got to 59,000 subscribers. I think you have 8 million views. It's a pretty remarkable story, probably partly due to the boom. But you're also in the Netherlands, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
go ahead. Sorry.
No, I mean, I'm not sure how far back to go. I started in early 2020, and I'd lived here. Had moved here a year earlier, and there's no cards here, so I didn't have a connection to the hobby. So I actually got the idea by a friend of mine's like a big Magic the Gathering fan, and he showed me a Magic the Gathering channel, and I was also watching like a random chess YouTube channel, and I was like, hey, I could start a card channel. I didn't even realize there was like card channels out there. But yeah, it started, and it took a while to get going, but yeah, it snowballed at some point. But yeah.
Yeah. So March 11th, 2020,
Oh,
Rudy Gobert wipes his hands on the microphones. The NBA shuts down. Tom Hanks and his wife test positive for COVID. And then the next day, you start your YouTube channel.
I didn't know it was that date, but yeah, that sounds about right.
And that's when the world kind of went crazy. So when you were in the
Yeah.
US, were you a full-time dealer of cards?
Yeah. I was a full-time dealer. I started around 2011, 12. It's exact dates sort of hazy, but around there. And full-time dealer through 2018, and then moved here at the beginning of 2019.
Wow.
And yeah.
Really interesting. So you started your channel there mid-March 2020. You said that it took a while for it to take off. At what point did you feel like, okay, maybe I can do this and be successful at it?
Yeah, it took a while. The first, the first lots and lots of videos, just nobody watched them. Like uh I would say the first 3 months worth of videos, and I was putting out a lot of videos, 4 or 5 a week.
It takes
And
patience.
yeah, and I think it took I think it probably took 3 months before I started feeling like, hey, this could actually work. And there were a couple like jump forward moments. I when I started the first high rollers video I made just was like 5 times as many views that I had ever gotten before. And so I was like, oh, I got to continue that every week. And then when I started telling stories, that was like a second big jump forward. People loved hearing those stories. I wish I had more. I sort of kind of ran out of them, but I come
Yeah,
up with some every now and then. But yeah,
it's
but
actually those.
I think the first 3 months were just I just wasn't getting anywhere.
Yeah, same for
I
me.
don't know how it's been. I don't know it's been for you. Yeah.
Yeah, it took me probably 7 months before I really started to gain traction. Uh,
Yeah.
4 months before I said, okay, this might work. And then it's about a year before I really caught my footing
Yeah.
and figured out what
Well,
was going on.
I actually think it's harder now. I think like I said, when I started, there weren't a lot of big channels.
Right.
Now there's lots of great channels out there. I mean, a lot of them. It's
Yeah.
a lot. Yeah, it's probably harder to gain traction now.
Everybody was home in 2020. I started my channel in mid 2021 when everybody was getting
Mhm.
back to work and they weren't sitting at home looking for entertainment.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody had anything else to do except watch my channel.
Well, I have to tell you, obviously, Chasing Cardboard is an unbelievable channel, but I put that in a different stratosphere because that's a full-time job. Are you familiar with Chasing Cardboard, the
Oh
channel?
yeah, yeah. No,
Yeah,
they're amazing.
it's a.
Are you? I know you're part of the whole bench. Like, how's that whole conglomerate work? The Bench Claire Media, because
I don't know.
uh, okay. Like, do you all know each other, or are you all sort of brought in by Mike, or
M-
how's it work?
Mike brought me in. I've never met or talked to Ty.
Okay.
but Ty is involved somehow. It's a good question. I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
And Ty owns Chasing Cardboard with, I think,
Yeah.
Matt.
Hmm.
And that's a whole operation. But in terms of, one guy operations, you have, in my opinion, the best sports card YouTube channel. And I don't
Oh,
think anybody would disagree. And I don't think that, and I hope this doesn't insult you, but the most of the sports card YouTubers have these big personalities and they're over the top, and you're not like that at all. And what do you think it is that brought you so much success to this?
yeah. I don't know. It's a I'm not a like hype guy.
Right.
I get turned off by that
That might be it.
when I'm buying, when I'm like buying or dealing with someone and they're like really selling me or hyping it up.
Yeah.
I get very turned off by that. Like
Yeah.
give it to me straight. And I guess people have taken to that a little bit. That certainly wasn't. I think there's quite a few of those personalities now, but when I started the channel, there was very few. Like it was all hype. I mean, right, that was right when the boom was happening, right, and
Yeah.
everybody was jumping in on, oh, buy this card, buy that card, and that was sort of the standard for the channels at the time. So I think it was. I think I kind of think I maybe got lucky just being sort of the not that, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the appeal too. It's that you are a give it straight. You portray yourself, and I believe it to be true, as a man of extreme integrity, where you are going to give people the value, 70%, 60% of the value of their collection. You're going to tell them what their collection is worth instead of saying, oh, this is only worth $1,000, and then you go and sell it for $60,000. And I think
Yeah, I would.
that really
Yeah.
attracts a lot of people.
I mean, I've done, I've done some shady things in the past. I want to say that I've eliminated all of them, and I feel like that's an important piece because I've noticed that, yeah, if you're straight with people, they come back and they'll tell their friends, and it's just a much better way to go. But
Yeah.
yeah, I like to think that I have that as best as I can.
Yeah. I started watching your channel in the summer of 2021. It was a collection buy video, one of your stories. And then YouTube, because I watched the entire video, and then YouTube says, you must have liked this. And then it starts feeding you all of those from that playlist. And I went through
Yeah,
all of them in a couple of weeks. And I have a full-time job, and kids. So
sorry.
no, but I went through all of those in a couple of weeks and just was enthralled by them. So great stuff. And I don't remember how many subscribers you had when I subscribed, but I don't even think it was 20,000 at that point. And now you're at
Yeah,
59,000 almost.
yeah.
It's great growth. It's impressive.
No, thanks. I really appreciate it, man. It definitely there was definitely a boom, a spike in the count, and then it's sort of leveled out off recently. But yeah, I think I kind of got lucky with the timing. A lot of it is
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. I was interested to see your most popular videos are like the most valuable cards from the 1980s,
I know.
which has 914,000 views, almost a million views.
That's
And
ridiculous.
I watched it a long time ago, but it's just
Yeah.
funny to think that video, which there aren't very many valuable cards from the 80s, is getting a
No,
million
no.
people to view it.
Yeah, right. It's all the top. It's all that era, the '80s and the early '90s.
Yes.
Top 10, early '90s, in both in baseball, football, and basketball, and even like I did a hockey one. I know very little about hockey, but I did a hockey one. I think it was the '80s, and I also did a '90s one. Those did amazing. So for some reason, yeah, people love countdown lists. They love the '80s, '90s cards. That's when a lot of people collected. So
Yeah, it's
yeah,
nostalgia.
those are all my sort of top videos.
So, do you have any haters in your comment section? Do you have anybody who's just constantly berating you or hating on you?
Yeah. That happens. When I started the channel, I actually was expecting a lot more. I have very little like social media presence in life. And my understanding of social media is just it's a very toxic, environment. And yeah, there's a little bit of that, but I was sort of expecting a lot more. So yeah, there's the occasional hater. I've blocked a couple people here and there. I try not to unless they're like really over the top. But
Yeah.
yeah. How about you? Do you get haters at all?
Occasionally, but they're not regular viewers. I have
Yeah,
never blocked anybody. I've never removed a comment. Um, if somebody were attacking another listener, I would probably uh, remove a comment. But valid criticism of me, I will respond to it. I might even talk about it in a video. I've gotten things wrong, and then I'll talk about it. I usually
sure.
talk about vintage cards, and I'm not a vintage expert. So somebody like Blue Jacket 66, who is an expert, will comment. Actually, they're very professional and nice about it, and I'll be like, "Oh wow, I wish I had known that. That didn't come up in my research." And then I'll mention it in an upcoming video. But I wouldn't say I have any haters. My channel's too small.
Well, I mean, okay, yeah. I mean, I love criticism as well. Honest criticism is great. I'm trying to think of like the last person I blocked. It was a long time ago, but yeah, it's not very often. But yeah, you'll start getting some if you keep growing.
No, I know. I'm waiting for it. I actually had
Yeah.
somebody who commented like 4 or 5 really weird comments one night. And then the next night on my next video, they apologized to me for it
Oh, cool.
and explained
Yeah.
why they had done it. And it's something
Yeah.
personal in their life. And I was like, oh. And then they've been cool ever since then. Regular
Well, that's
commenter.
usually that's usually what it is, right? Just if I mean, if you're getting on somebody's YouTube channel and leaving a bunch of hate comments, there's probably something going on in your life.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Um, yeah.
So who are your favorite sports card YouTubers? You must have some.
Well, who I hate this question because there's a lot of really a lot of good ones at this point. I mean, the one I watch the most is Mike. His vintage. What's the vintage
Baseball
one called?
collector.
Yeah, no, but what's Bench Clear Media? But what's his vintage
Oh
section
yeah.
called? I can't for some reason.
I usually
It's
post.
like
Yeah, I
yeah,
can't
yeah.
remember it either.
I mean, he just has sort of like a calm passion that is very similar to me, and and you have that as well. Just sort of like a calm passion, which I appreciate. And he talks a
Thanks.
lot about vintage. I'm a vintage guy, so I like
Yeah.
that. And there's not a lot of vintage channels out there, so
Yeah, vintage is my favorite by far. I collect all years, but vintage is to me the most interesting. And
yeah.
Mike's collection is unbelievable.
Oh yeah,
I have to remind myself. I just got back into the hobby a few years ago, and I have to remind
yeah.
myself I don't need to have a collection as great as Mike's right now. Like he'll call me and he'll show me cards that he bought or like in his collection, that things that he knows that I like, and it's just like, man, it's crazy.
Nice. Well, what's the how? So how's the setup? You guys will do? Are you doing like a weekly show together, but with various people mixing in?
Yeah, so on Thursdays we post a two-person conversation. It's me and Mike, which was last Thursdays, or the one that posts in 2 hours is me and John Keating of
Mm,
that 70s sports card show or that 70s card show. And then there's also Danny Black, who's the fourth one. Danny Black is from Baltimore Sports Collectibles. Sorry, Danny, I'm forgetting the name of your
mm.
channel, but it's great. And I was just on an interview on that one last week. And so we just pick like who's available this week. Let's get 2 people in to discuss some sort of topic.
I saw one recently. You had four. You were one of four, right?
That was the intro, the pilot, I guess.
That's right. That's right. The pilot. Yeah.
Yeah, we've only had 3 so far. It just started on January 5th or whatever. Yeah, it's fun.
Very cool.
Yeah, I think you still do the high rollers and the low rollers. Do you still see a lot of views on those like you did initially? Or are you seeing? I'm trying to understand what's happening with sports card YouTube in general. And I think somebody who's been doing the same type of video for so long is a good indicator of what's happening in this. Are you seeing a degradation of viewers on that specific set of videos?
A little bit. So the high rollers I do every Wednesday, and it's just the top 10 high big money sales of the week basically. And that like I said, sort of shot my channel up at the beginning, and I've been doing that weekly for 2 years now, and it's definitely slowly declining now in terms of views. I think there's other channels who do similar things, and maybe even do it better than I do, or different than I do. So there's more options in terms of viewing that sort of content. The low roll, sorry, they call it the regular rollers,
Regular
which
rollers,
is
yeah.
maybe my segment I'm most proud of, in that it just like connects with the everyday collector a lot more. That one's pretty steady. That one sort of started off pretty okay, and it's just been pretty steady the whole time. I haven't seen much decline there. But yeah.
All right. Do you see your channel evolving this year, or do you think you'll continue doing the same thing? Do you have any big goals for this year?
Yeah, I want to. So I feel like my channel sort of it's sort of maxed out. Like I don't know that there's a whole lot more audience to gain in the sports card world for the kind of content that I make. Maybe not. Their channel's bigger than me, but for sure. But I don't know that there's more people who'd want to watch my sort of content. But I like the idea of expanding into like just sort of sports fans as opposed to sports card fans, and trying to doing a video like the Baseball Hall of Fame, and then trying to bring in some baseball fans who are maybe not sports fans, but and then implement cards throughout the video as like a way to introduce it, but really focus on like a baseball topic or a football topic, and then have cards kind of be a secondary thing. And maybe that can do two things: one, grow the channel, and two, bring people into the hobby. So
Yeah.
that's one idea I want to look forward to more here.
Yeah, that's a good idea. How many? Do you mind if I ask? What is your like rate on your channel?
Like how many likes? What percentage of likes do I get?
Yeah.
Or how many likes?
What percentage? So mine's at 98 point something percent, which I think might be too high. Like maybe I should take some more risks to get some more, and hopefully nobody says, oh, I'm going to downvote this now because of that. But maybe I need to do some different types of videos to get more viewers in. I'm not really sure.
That's interesting. Yeah, no, mine's are all 98 to 99 or so.
Okay.
I think they're mostly in the 98s, but that's an interesting way of thinking about it. Like maybe it's a little too safe at times.
Yeah, I wonder. Hopefully nobody says, "Oh, I'll download this for you, Mike."
You're right. I mean, I don't like the idea of like creating controversy for no reason.
No.
If if there's controversy to be legit controversy, okay, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know that's I don't know what that says. That's a good question, actually.
Yeah, I'm certainly not saying I want to create controversy at all, but I
Yeah.
love to do attic find videos on baseball card attic finds. And I thought maybe I'll do attic finds on like comic books. And I'm not into comic books, but are the people watching my attic find videos for the attic finds or for the baseball cards? And I did one on the Action Comics #1 last week, first branching out, thinking, but no, people didn't like it.
Oh, they didn't like it. Did you get a lot?
No.
You got a lot of down like it got no views, or it got a lot of downvotes?
No views.
Okay. Yeah.
500, which isn't very good for me.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I could see that, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a little too far of a branch out. Like the average card collector isn't going to be interested in that. Whereas I would hope the average card collector would be interested in like the Baseball Hall of Fame. Maybe that's a little, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I did a Baseball Hall of Fame video a few months ago, and I said that I thought that people like Barry Bonds should be in the Hall of Fame because he was the greatest of his era, whether it was steroids or not. And I got a lot of downvotes on that video, and a lot of people commented that they were unsubscribing because they couldn't believe I thought steroid users.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. I guess that's controversial. I guess.
I didn't think it would be.
Whenever I mention Eli Manning is potentially not a Hall of Famer, I get a lot of negative comments about that.
I think Eli Manning will go into the Hall of Fame, but he shouldn't.
That's more or less what I think. Yeah.
Yeah, like Jack Morris.
Jack Morris
got voted in, shouldn't have.
Yeah. I mean, you can make a case for Eli Manning, right? That's totally legit, and I guess you could make a case for Jack Morris as well. But
yep.
I probably wouldn't.
Yeah, I'm gonna get hate for those comments now.
Sorry. Yeah, if any Eli Manning fans listening, put the hate on me. Don't give it to Mike here.
So are you a fully independent YouTuber, or do you have sponsorships and I just haven't noticed them?
I have sponsorships on the high rollers and regular rollers sometimes. I take I take very few sponsorships. I get requests a lot, but I sort of took the mentality from the beginning that, like, I'm not looking to make. I mean, I want to make money off the channel, but that's the goal of the channel is not to make money. The goal of the channel is to grow my reputation, and it sort of led to being able to buy collections, and that's far more important than making some extra money in sponsorships. But yeah, my current sponsorships are Greg Morris and hoodies. I don't know if you know those two companies, but they're both companies I've used for years, and I like them both. So there's no, I'm happy to take them as sponsorships.
Yeah, I kind of have. I mean, I'm only at 2,600 subscribers, but I have had a couple of companies reach out to me and offer sponsorships, and they weren't companies that I believed in or trusted, so I've said no.
Yeah.
But if the right company came along, I would definitely give it a consider.
Well, you're gonna start getting more. They'll start to roll in. You'll get a lot of like NFTs and video games and things. You're like, I can't put this in my videos. Like that'll just ruin ruin the viewing.
Yeah, NFTs. Definitely not an NFT guy.
Yeah.
So I know you're a Cal collector, ultra Cal collector. What's your favorite card? Yeah. It doesn't have to be a Cal card. What's your favorite card in your personal collection?
Okay, favorite. Well, so I could answer that a number of ways. So I have the first card I ever got, which is I've told the story a couple times on my channel, but I opened it. It was 1980. It would have been either 88 or 89. I opened a 1988 Donruss pack, and I pulled a Mark McGwire. And my friend, my friend really wanted it, and I didn't know anything, but I didn't trade it to him because he wanted it. That's the only reason I didn't trade it to him. And I literally still have that card. I mean, it's crazy. It's like I don't know how I kept hold on to it. I've sold out my collection, multiple times over the years, and somehow I always maintain that card. It's not worth anything, but it's sort of my number one. I call it my number one dime card from the DuckTales reference. My favorite card design ever is a 1996 Pinnacle Skylines. I don't know if you know what that looks like.
I think I have is there a Mike Piazza in that one?
Yeah. There's Piazza, Griffey, Thomas, Ripken, Maddox. But it's just the player in front of like the skyline of the city they play for, and it just is a beautiful card. And the background's clear; you can see through it like a sky, and it's just a really nice card.
Very cool. I just did a short on the 1995 Leaf Statistical Standouts set, which was awesome.
Is that with the ball?
The baseball,
yeah, that's a great set. Really Leaf was really creative in the 90s.
They sure were.
Yeah, and they were big pushing the serial numbered stuff.
Yeah. So I know in the collections you've bought, you have personally taken or bought from those collections some pretty big time cards. What's your Holy Grail card that you don't have? That
I don't have? It's definitely the Ripken. Ripken has 4 minor league cards.
Yeah.
2 of them are from 81, 2 of them are from 1980. The 2 1980 ones are just impossible. There's a blue border and an orange border. The orange border is like it's been graded by PSA like 30 times total, and that in any grade basically would be my Holy Grail. I put a bid on once many years ago for like a PSA 2, and I wasn't even close. Yeah.
It's there's also a 1977 Rickey Henderson minor league card.
Yeah.
Similar situation, incredibly rare. And I had a viewer email me, and it's stuck in my brain since he emailed me this story. And it's unbelievably rare. And he actually got it off of eBay cheap, only $1,000 raw. And then he sent it off to a private signing, got it autographed, and then PSA slabbed it, and it's now worth tens of thousands of dollars.
Wow, that's risky to buy that card raw. I guess if it's $1,000 and you're pretty confident in the seller, that's fine. But
yeah,
I imagine that I don't know, but I imagine that's a heavy counterfeited card or not.
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm guessing that not a lot of people have ever heard of it before.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, maybe it's too niche to counterfeit.
Yeah. You have the LeBron, what is the black chrome rookie?
Yeah, black refractor. Yeah,
And you still have it in your safe deposit box, right?
yeah,
It was only a few
yes,
months ago that you posted that video.
yeah.
Do you have regrets?
Of not. No, I mean, I don't. I just don't think that way. Like, you know, if I buy and sell so many cards over the years, there's so many of them that if I had held on to, I would be doing so much better. I mean, thousands, probably thousands of examples. Now, the LeBron's obviously a pretty extreme example, by far the most extreme example I have. But no, I sort of just don't think of it that way. I'm in it for $800, and I'm fine to just not even think about it until 10 years from now and just check it then. And
Yeah.
the only reason I check it was because I made videos for the channel.
So what is a card that you have sold and you regret selling?
That I regret selling. Well, I had a 51 mantle. You know, I don't have a mantle. I've had two 52 mantles, or maybe I know I said sorry, I've had 352 mantles, but uh, I'm a collector of rookie cards. So the 51 mantle is one I don't have at the moment. I really wish I had one. I had a nice, I think it was an SGC3, but it was like a really really nice SGC3. It would have fit into my collection perfectly, and I decided to sell it at some point. I just needed a little extra cash. This was probably 4 or 5 years ago, and yeah, I wish I would have held on to that one. It's probably 5x to 10x since then.
Yeah. Baseball collector Mike has one.
Yeah, I'm sure he does. I'm sure he does. only has one.
So before we get to my lightning round,
Yeah.
are you seeing collections become more available now, and are you seeing prices go down as people anticipate a recession?
And seeing in terms of more collections available, I don't know that let me think. No, I don't know that I've seen much change in terms of like number of collections available. But what I've definitely have seen is more people are like not happy with the prices I'm offering, because probably a lot of people have been, bought their collection a year ago, and the cards of, especially modern stuff is just really, fallen a lot in the last year, and so the value is a lot less than they anticipate. So I'm getting that a lot more than I usually get. Like, oh wow, that's just way too low for me to consider. That's something I rarely got in the past, but yeah, I've noticed a major uptick in that, which makes sense given the sort of state of the hobby, especially modern.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
So you talk a lot about WAR on your channel. WAR, wins above replacement. I'm a big WAR guy as well. I'm a baseball reference WAR guy.
I love baseball reference. I love WAR. Yeah.
Yeah. It's as you actually describe it perfectly. It's not perfect, but it's a great way to compare players, especially across eras.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you about a dozen players here, and I want you to guess what their WAR is. Lightning round.
Okay. Oh, great. This sounds fun. Okay. Wait, what their career WAR is?
For their career WAR. Totally random group of guys that I came up with earlier today. To the nearest whole number. So number one is Cal Ripken.
Cal Ripken's he's around 100. He's around 100.
96.
96. Yeah.
Yeah. Very good. Danny Tartable.
I'm going to say 32.
23.
Ooh. Okay.
Jose Canseco.
I'm going to go low 40s, 45.
43.
Oh,
very good.
Okay.
Ozzie Canseco.
1.
Negative.
He might not have gotten 1. Yeah, negative 1.
Craig Grebeck, the greatest mullet in baseball history, maybe.
Oh, Craig Grebeck. I have no idea. I couldn't picture how good his career was in the end. 10.
10, exactly. Very good.
That was totally lucky.
Yeah. David Eckstein.
David Eckstein, I'm not sure. 21.
Are you looking these up?
No.
21 exactly.
Are you serious? That's not true.
It is. Look it up.
Okay.
The other Eck, Dennis Eckersley.
Okay, relievers are tricky. he's probably so. I mean, he was obviously great, but I'm gonna say 35 because I don't think reliever. Oh no, he started for a while. Hold on.
Very good.
45. 45.
62.
Oh,
Are
okay.
you with me? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
62. He started for a long time.
That's amazing. Like he must have started longer than I'm remembering. He was he
Yeah.
a starter for like 10 years or for like 5 years?
I think even more than 10 years.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes some sense. Yeah.
Dennis Martinez.
Dennis Martinez, he's probably 40s. I'm going to say 40.
49.
Okay.
Way higher than I would have guessed. And that's from my era, 90s, 80s, 90s.
Yeah. 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 I mean, yeah. Okay. This is fun, by the way.
Tom Browning. Good.
Tom Browning. Tom Browning
threw a perfect game, didn't he? Tom
threw
Browning.
a perfect game in '88, I believe, right?
I think are we
Or
losing
maybe
our
it was
connection
87.
here?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Yeah.
Tom Browning,
Okay.
perfect game in
Tom
80,
Browning.
89, or sorry, in 88 or 87.
Yeah, late
gonna
80s
guess-
probably.
I'm going to guess 20s, 26.
20.
20, okay.
Tom Brunansky.
Tom Bernansky. How long did he play? He couldn't have played very long. I'm going to guess not very high because I feel like he was like fairly good for a couple of years and then fell off quick. So I'm going to say like 15.
22.
22.
Now we'll get to some Hall of Fame talents that didn't quite make it. Darryl Strawberry.
Strawberry is going to be right in the like around 40.
42. Doc Gooden.
Probably similar. Maybe a little lower. I'm going to say 38.
53.
Oh wow, Doc Gooden,
Yeah.
53. Okay.
And really close to a Hall of Famer, Ryan Miner.
No, you're close to, okay. That's Ryan Miner. By the way, did Ryan Miner replace Ripken at third base? Is that why you brought him up? Yeah,
That's right. Yeah.
for the consecutive game streak. 4.
-3.
-3.
He was supposed to be the next coming, right?
I know. That's why. Yeah, exactly.
And then we got to go with Cal's other replacement, Mike Bordick.
Mike Bordick was a solid defensive player. I don't know how much that factors into WAR.
It does.
It does. I'm going to say 15.
27.
Oh, Mike Bordick, 27. Okay.
Yeah. University of Maine standout. I'm from Maine, so I had to throw Bordick in there too.
Yeah,
Another Maine
Bordick's
guy, Billy Swift. This is your last one. Billy Swift.
Billy Swift. Yeah, I would guess like 20.
21.
21. Okay.
Billy Swift, I think, came in second place in the Cy Young voting one year.
I think he had some. Yeah, I think he had some solid. I think he had like 3 or 4 solid seasons where he might have even made like a couple All-Star games and stuff.
Yeah,
but definitely not a long career.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But there aren't very many Mainers who ever made it to the major leagues. So.
Oh no, I wouldn't have known that trivia. No. Who can you name a couple? Are there any Hall of Famers or anything?
No. Those two. That's about it. I have a Maine sports legend autograph collection. Yeah. And that's pretty much it. Those two.
For baseball. Billy Swift and Mike Bordick?
Yeah, for Major League Baseball. Stump Merrill. I grew up down the street from Stump Merrill. I have his autographs.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah. That's it.
That's pretty cool.
Really yeah. So, Chris, this was fun.
Yeah, this was
I really appreciate you joining.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on, man.
Anything else you want to say before we wrap up?
No, just thanks for having me on. It was really fun. Like I said, it was cool.
Yeah, maybe I'll see you at the National if we're both there this year.
Well, will you be at the National this year? I'll definitely be there.
I hope so. I don't know. The closer it gets to it, the more I think I'll be there.
Okay. Do you ever do like the New York shows? Or is that?
Nah, it's like a 7-hour drive for me. I might go to the Shriner show in Boston, which is pretty big.
Okay.
But New York, too far.
Yeah, man, get out to the National. That's always a blast.
I was there last year. It was awesome. That's why I
Yeah.
wanted. But the National in Atlantic City was only a 7-hour drive, and I brought my family down
Right.
for a family vacation.
Right.
Not so much in Chicago, which is a
Chicago's a
17-hour drive.
little farther. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to fly out.
But it's a much nicer area in Chicago.
That's what I've heard. That's what I've heard.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, Chris. Thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun, man.
Hope you have a good night.
Yeah. You too, man.
All right. Talk to you soon.
Yeah.
Bye.